Hi friends, Christie here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I just did a total newbie, novice mistake and filmed for about 10 or 15 minutes without having pushed record on my phone. I looked at my phone screen went dark and I'm like, why is it going dark? And then I looked and I had not even pushed the button. How silly. How silly. Hi, how are you? I'm here today, obviously, to do a book haul. My January book haul. I have 10 books to show you. Before I get to the books, I'm going to real quick take a look at some spreadsheets that I've created. This year, one of my goals is to lessen the amount of books that are actually coming in regards to what's going out, what I'm actually reading off my shelves and unhauling and all of that. So I've created 2 separate spreadsheets for 2024 to keep track. So the first one here is actually my in and out. It'll just be numbers. How many I'm hauling, how many I'm unhauling, and then how many I've actually read from my shelves. That's just going to be the numbers side of things. And then I have a second one here where I'm actually going to list out all the books that I'm bringing into my home in 2024. Hopefully I can keep on top of this one. I'm going to have the title, the author, when I got it, where did I get it from, how much I spent on it, and then if there's a specific reason why I purchased a book, I want to have that written out as well. So I'm not up to date with it right now, but those are going to be my 2 spreadsheets that will help me track that goal to see if I'm actually accomplishing bringing in fewer books than what I'm able to read through or unhaul. So I have 10 books to talk about with you today. And the first 3 were so kindly gifted to me. So I will talk about these ones first. This first one came as quite a surprise. Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson is the 3rd in the Skyward series. I still need to read the first one. But Chrissie from Chrissie's Purple Library sent this to me as just a treat. Chrissie, that was really kind of you. Really, really kind of you. She says, I know this has been a difficult season for you, but even though it has been, the joy of the Lord shines through. Thank you for encouraging me in the Lord. Keep jamming. Love, Chrissie from Chrissie's Purple Library. I love Chrissie. And if you guys read at all any kind of fantasy, Christian fiction, if you just want to be filled with joy, her videos will do that for you. Check out Chrissie's Purple Library. And thank you, Chrissie, for this lovely 3rd book in a series. One of these days, I just need to sit down and binge through because I feel like I'm going to love it. I know as far as plot goes, we're going to meet Spencer in Skyward, and that's the first one in the series. And Spencer really wants to be a fighter pilot to help protect her world, but her dad has gone missing, and her dad has been labeled as a traitor or a deserter or something along those lines. And that has kind of trickled down to people's opinion of Spencer herself. So she's having difficulty becoming a pilot, but I think she does. I don't know. Sci-fi, fantasy world. I'm really excited to read it. I've heard nothing but good from people who have read Skyward. They love it. If you've heard lots of people talking about Brandon Sanderson, but you're not gung-ho into a huge fantasy, then this series is YA. It might be a good kind of entry into the door of Brandon Sanderson because he's brilliant. Brilliant. I have another subscriber who sent me a book, Robin. Thank you so much, Robin. Sent me this signed copy of this book called Madame Eldridge's, I can't say Madame. Every time I say it, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Madame Eldridge's Wayward Home for Unruly Boys by Benjamin Ryan. This is a signed copy. It has his social media info on this little bookmark library card insert right here. It says, sometimes people judge us without knowing who we truly are. Remember that you are more than the bad traits others see. Within us all is a magic to change the world. Benjamin Ryan. I love that. It's more than just his name. It's actually a little note written from him. So cool. And she sent this. She's a newer subscriber, has been watching for a while though. And she said, you motivate me to read more and to venture into different genres, so thank you. This is a YA book. I think you will enjoy the plot. It would be fun to meet an author who can create something like this. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much, Robin. So, so sweet. Has a little bookmark in here as well, and her note I'm keeping in here. But this book takes place at Madame Eldridge's home, which is kind of a home for unruly boys. So nestled in the foreboding backwoods of Virginia. That's where I live, so that's kind of fun. Madame Eldridge's behavior program promotes only 3 official rules. Firstly, what happens here stays here. Yikes. Secondly, all 8 steps must be completed. No ifs, ands, or buts. Thirdly, each boy is referred to by his problem, not his name. But then there's this unspoken rule about this room on the third floor that nobody is really supposed to go into. But of course, some of them do. One boy named Vandalize breaks into the room, Stealer takes something, and then they start to realize that some of the artifacts in this room have magical abilities. And so they use these things to help with Madame Eldridge's 8 steps or 8 things that need to be completed. I think the cover is gorgeous, and I feel like that does sound like a really fun read. So thank you, Robin, for thinking of me and sending me this book. It was very sweet of you. And then the third one that was sent to me, every once in a while, I get an email requesting me to read and review a book. And I often say no, because the book doesn't always seem to be something that I would love. And I don't want to review a book or receive a book that I'm not going to end up liking. So I say thanks, but no thanks. I hope your book gets into the hands of the right readers, but I don't think that's me. But I got this email about Veil of Doubt by Sharon Virts. There was a trailer I could watch that was kind of a book description trailer, and I read the description and it just sounded so good. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll take that one. Emily Lloyd is a young widow in Reconstruction era Virginia. Again, Virginia, yay. She's accused of poisoning her 3-year-old daughter, Maud. It isn't the first death in her home. Her husband and 3 other children all died of mysterious illnesses. So when Maud succumbs to an unexplained malady, the town suspects foul play. Soon, Mrs. Lloyd is charged not only with poisoning the child, but also with murdering her other children, her husband, and her aunt. Enter Powell Harrison, a soft-spoken, brilliant attorney who recently returned to his Virginia hometown to help his brother manage their late father's practice. Approached to assist in her defense, Harrison initially declines, worried that an infanticide case might tarnish their family's reputation. But as details about the widow's erratic behavior and her reclusive neighbors emerge, he begins to suspect that an even more sinister truth might lurk beneath the family's horrible fate and finds himself irresistibly drawn to the case. This is based on a shocking true story, which is what sold me. As soon as I learned that this was based on a true story, I'm like, oh my word, I need to read this. So it's part psychological thriller, part medical and legal procedural, part historical, perfect for fans of Margaret Atwood's Alias Grace, which I never read, filled with rich period detail gleaned from exhaustive research. It delves into the darkness of the South during Reconstruction, exposing intrigue, deception, and death. I mean, it just sounds so good to me. When I learned that it was based on a true story, this woman who is accused of murdering so many people in her family, poisoning them, like what? What? But in the trailer, there was pictures of the actual people from back in the day. Like, sounds so good. It sounds so good. So I'm very thankful for Sharon and her team sending me this one. Okay, then we have 4 books that I purchased on Amazon. I did have some credit. Every time I have a book link in the description, I get a little bit of a kickback if you use those links, and whether or not you're buying what's actually on the link, if you click on that link and buy anything else, I also get a little bit of a commission for that. So thank you for using the links, because recently I've received a couple gift cards from Amazon in which I turn around and purchase some books. So in doing my middle grade bookshelf, which I don't think you've seen the one yet where I talk about the other books in this trilogy, but I realized I did not have the 3rd book in this trilogy by Kate DiCamillo, Louisiana's Way Home. I have already read this one. I just didn't own it, and I love it. So this is called the 3 Rancheros series, a group of 3 friends, and we meet all 3 of them in the first one, Raymie Nightingale, and then in the second one, we get Beverly's story, Beverly right here, and then this is the 3rd one, Louisiana's Way Home. And I just love this series so much, and I wanted to own all 3 of them with this edition, in this edition, and now I do. So thrilled about that. Love Kate DiCamillo. I also wanted to get the sequel to Amari. This is Amari and the Great Game. I have the first one in hardcover, so I wanted to get the hardcover of the second one, and it was less than $10. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get that one as well. Hopefully I will read this during middle grade March. I really enjoyed the first one. It was among my top middle grade books of 2023. So looking forward to continuing that series. The 3rd middle grade book that I got from Amazon is the Newbery winner from this year, and it is The Eyes and the Impossible by Dave Eggers. Honestly, I don't even know what this is about, but because I'm collecting and reading every Newbery winner, I wanted to go ahead and purchase it right away. I probably should have waited because they will be putting a Newbery sticker on here, but I'm okay with it not having it. It's just going to be the newest Newbery. I will try to read it during middle grade March as well. I believe we follow A dog, a free dog, a fast dog, such a fast dog. Johannes is his name. He lives in an urban park by the sea, and every day he runs through the park, seeing all, missing nothing, and reporting what he sees to the park's 3 ancient bison, the keepers of the equilibrium. So it's going to have animal main characters. It has some gorgeous artwork in it. Oh man, it's just beautiful. So I don't know anything about the actual plot, but I do know that it won this year's Newbery, so I grabbed that. And the last one that I picked up from Amazon is a Christian fiction contemporary, The Words We Lost by Nicole Deese. I don't even know how. I don't typically follow her. I think I am now, but I wasn't following her on Instagram. But you know when you're just scrolling and things pop up? She popped up. It was just music and words. She wasn't talking. But this book she wrote, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but basically her sister had passed away, and in the grieving process, or through the grieving process, this is the book that she wrote. And I don't know how long ago that was, or if she was like looking back on the grieving process and this came out of it, or if it was more recent. I honestly don't know any of the details, but it just struck a chord with me when I watched that reel, and I immediately went on Amazon and bought this book. Immediately. So 3 friends, 2 broken promises, 1 missing manuscript. As a senior acquisitions editor for Fog Harbor Books in San Francisco, Ingrid has rejected many manuscripts for lack of defined conflict and dramatic irony, 2 elements her current life possesses in spades. In the months following the death of her childhood best friend and international best-selling author Cecilia Campbell, Ingrid has not only lost her ability to escape into fiction due to a rare trauma response, but she's also desperate to find the closure she's convinced will come with Cecilia's missing final manuscript. After she jeopardizes her career, she fears her future will remain irrevocably broken. But then Joel Campbell, the man who shattered her belief in happily ever afters, offers her a sealed envelope from his late cousin Cecilia, asking Joel and Ingrid to put their differences aside and retrieve a mysterious package in their coastal Washington hometown. Honoring Cecilia's last request will challenge their convictions, test their loyalties. Through it all, will Ingrid and Joel be brave enough to uncover a twice-in-a-lifetime love? So it's going to be a contemporary romance, bookish, publishing, like all the things that I love from a Christian fiction author. So it's going to be no steamy scenes. It's going to have faith elements in there. I've heard good things about Nicole Deese. I've just never read anything by her before. So, and I know this is, I believe, the start of a series, companion series, possibly. Or this is a part of a companion series. Maybe the other one's already out. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, except that reel caught my heart and I needed to have it right away. So I bought it. The last 3 are ones that I picked up from libraries. I honestly don't remember where this one came from, A Wedding in December. I'll have to look on my Pango bought books to see if I bought this from Pango. Or did it come from a little free library? Honestly, I can't remember. It's been sitting on my shelf for a little while. I'm going to put this with my Christmas books. It's not going to be read until next year. I have read from Sarah Morgan before, and I think I liked her. But this is another Christmas. It's kind of an oversized book, but I love the sparkles on the cover. I don't even really need to know anything about it other than it's a Christmas book. This one I know I did pick up from a library sale shelf. It was 50 cents. The Curiosity Keeper by Sarah E. Ladd. She writes Christian historical romance. I have enjoyed her books before, so that's all I needed to know. I do not own this one on my shelves. I do have some of these other ones that are listed on the back here. I don't know if those are part of the same series or not. We follow a young woman who's very independent, Camille. Her mother had left, abandoned the family, left Camille running their shabby curiosity shop, but then she is betrayed. It says violent betrayal. Leaves her injured with no place to hide. She must allow a mysterious stranger to come to her aid. Enter Jonathan Gilchrist. He never wanted to inherit Kettering Hall. As a second son, he was content to work as the village apothecary, but when his brother's death made him heir, just as his father's foolish decisions put the estate at risk, only the sale of a priceless possession, a ruby called the Bevoy, can save the family from ruin, but the gem has disappeared, and all trails lead to the Inverness Curiosity Shop and the beautiful shop girl who may be the answer to many of his questions. So historical romance, Sarah E. Ladd. I'm happy to have that on my shelves. And then finally, I go to the library closest to me. It's 1 mile away. On Monday nights, they have a little workout there that's free. So I try to go, and this time they had a little table set up where someone had come and donated books. They don't typically do this. And I said, I have books I could bring. And they're like, please don't. But I think it was an elderly person, had come and brought tons of books, and they just put them out. If you want one, take one for free. So I did. I took Our Woman in Moscow by Beatrice Williams. I have read some Beatrice Williams and enjoyed them, but didn't love them. In the past couple of years, I've unhauled all the rest of my Beatrice Williams books, all but a couple. This one is a Cold War historical espionage, family devotion, 1948. I am excited to have a Cold War book. So here is my smaller than usual, but not too shabby book haul. Book haul for January. I'm really excited about the ones that are coming on my shelves. I feel like there's a lot more intention in these books than normal. I feel like there's a couple, like the ones that I got from the library, The Curiosity Keeper, A Wedding in December, Woman in Moscow. Like, I don't feel like I would necessarily read those ones right away, but I'm glad that I have them. And yeah, I'm just excited about having a little bit more intention behind the books that are coming into my home. Of course, the gifted ones, I'm super thankful for those as well, and they sound fantastic. So that is it for my January book haul, and a little glimpse into how I'm going to be tracking my goal of bringing in less than what's going out. We'll see how that goes as the year goes on. But I would love to hear from you if any of these sound intriguing to you. Have you heard of them or read them before? Do you think that I'm going to like them? Any other thoughts that you might have, or what book have you acquired in January that you're really excited for, or anything else that you want to talk about? I always love talking with you down in the comments. So let's chat down there. Thank you so much for watching and spending a few minutes with me today. I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.